So what's up, guys? This is actually for anybody who has been struggling to build wealth. So I have based on our last discussion on the live, about challenging ourselves and doing what we need to do in order to start building wealth. So I've decided to recommend a book that I believe will help you guys in building the kind of wealth you need to build and have your own business, something that can give you this financial freedom. So I'll be reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, a book by Robert Kiyosaki. If you're thinking of a business that you can do in order to achieve this financial freedom, believe me, this is a book for you. If you're somebody who has been thinking of developing the kind of confidence you need in order to start building your own business. A lot of people settle for being an employee, working for somebody and helping somebody to build their own business when you can be building your own business. And you can't judge them because they don't know any better. And I just want to be doing this particular live, the reading of this book for at least 10 minutes every single day. And I believe by the end of the year, we're supposed to finish reading this. So I hope you just find this quite inspiring and you learn something from it. So if you don't have a copy, try to go and get one and read it. Believe me, it will change your view about business, and it will help you to identify where you will fall in. As a person, if you are an employee, you are employing somebody, or if you are employee, if you're being employed, you're working for somebody, is that really where you want to be, or you want to focus on trying to build your own business and have people work with you and build your own business? So let's read this book, and yeah, I'll be translating it to you, and I hope you learn something from it. So we'll be starting with the first chapter. Chapter 1, this is it. It says, can you see it? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I would be reading the first paragraph. I hope we're able to finish this in 10 minutes. But we'll be continuing because, like I used to tell you guys, I'm not very good with English, right? But then you have to manage my English, and my English is not your. You don't have to care about my English. What you really have to care about is the lesson in the book. Okay, so let's go. So this man was talking about. He said, "I had two fathers, a rich one and a poor one." He was talking about him having two fathers, a rich dad and a poor dad. Actually, it's not possible to have two dads, but we we are these creatures that we tend to have people that we admire. So maybe he was talking about somebody that he admire who is a rich dad, and then somebody who is his own original dad. So he said one was highly educated and intelligent. He had a PhD. He said one of his dad is very, very intelligent, highly educated. He had this PhD, he went to the best school, he studied, he had his high grade, and yeah, completed 4 years of undergraduate work in less than 2 years. He said, this is that. He said, and completed 4 years of undergraduate work in less than 2 years. Wow. He said, this is that. Completed 4 years of undergraduate work in 2 years. So he said he then went on to Stanford University. He said this particular man, that is highly educated, that he went on, he tried to further his education. He went to Stanford University. So he said the University of Chicago and Northwestern University to do his advanced studies. So he was talking about this man trying to go to another university so he can advance his studies. A lot of people are doing that, especially in country like Nigeria, where I'm from. People trying to go for this masters in order to secure a better job because they believe that they have to add this master or this high grade, high degree before they can, attain this high job that will pay them very well. So that is what that is highly educated dad is trying to do. So he said all on full financial scholarships. He said everything this man was doing, all the studies, going to this University of Chicago and then this Northwestern University to his advanced studies. He said he was doing all these things on full financial scholarship, like somebody was sponsoring him. I believe that is what scholarship mean, right? Like to be sponsored, by somebody. I don't know, maybe it's the industry or the school where he was working. I don't know, but let's continue reading. So he said the other father never finished the eighth grade. He was talking about the other father, that is his second dad. That one never finished his eighth grade. It's just like somebody who never finished secondary school year. Hmm? Somebody who never finished secondary school year, and he's talking about that rich dad, the one that is very, very rich and wealthy. He never finished secondary school. Meanwhile, the highly educated dad, continues striving to be better in his education. He's trying to advance his studies. With the intention of securing a better job or like being in a better position. So he said both men were successful in their careers, working hard all their lives. He said both men were very, very successful in their careers. They were working hard all their lives. They strive every night and day just to, make this money. Actually, the reason why I'm laughing is because this kind of life is very funny to me. It's the first time I'm trying to read books to you guys, and I believe it will help one or two people, and that's why I'm doing it. So we'll get better over time. This actually whole thing is about trying to develop each other and be better, and try to add value to people's lives. And like I said, I'm sure this will definitely help somebody out there. So he said both earn substantial incomes. That is, both the rich dad and the poor one, they both earn substantial incomes. They make a lot of money. I'm not sure if substantial means a lot of money, but you can drop what substantial means in the comment section and we can learn from you that way. So he said, yet one struggled financially all his life. He said, yet one of these rich and poor dad, one of them struggled financially all his life. I mean, despite the fact that they both made substantial amounts of income, one of them still struggled financially. I don't know if it is the rich dad or the poor dad, but we'll find out. Let's continue. He said the other would become one of the richest men in Hawaii. He said the other dad would become one of the richest man in Hawaii. That is where the writer of this book is from, which is Robert Kiyosaki. He said the other one would become one of the richest man in Hawaii. He said one died leaving tens of millions of dollars to his family. He said one of these died, he passed away, leaving generational wealth, leaving billions, leaving millions, wealth, lands, assets to his family, just like this man that recently passed away, this Dan Tata Dangote. The man just passed, and according to the news, he left a lot of things, a lot of wealth, land, properties, millions, billions to his family and things. So he said charities and his church, that is okay. The one that died leaving millions of dollars to his family, charities and his church. He left millions of dollars to his family, charities and church. He said the other left bills to be paid. Like the second dad, he left bills to be paid. You know what bills mean? Something like basic. When you are in debt and you passed away with that debt on your neck, you left it for your children or family or anybody to just, though they can't help you to pay it. That is between you and whoever loan you whatever amount you loan you get. But then that is what he's saying. So one of the father, one between the rich dad and the poor dad. One died, leaving billions of dollars to his family and church and the charities, and the other leave, left bills to be paid. So he said both men were strong, charismatic, and influential. He said both these fathers, both the rich dad and the poor dad, they were both strong, charismatic, and influential. So both men offered me advice, but they did not advise the same things. He said both the rich dad and the poor dad, they offered him advice, but their advice is kind of different. Just like when you have something that you want to, maybe something you want to accomplish, you get, and you see somebody who has become very successful in that thing, and you see somebody who is doing very bad in that thing, then the two of these people are now giving you advice. I'm sure the advice will be different. The one who is successful can be telling you things you need to do in order to become successful, while the other one who is failing will be telling you things you have to do in order to either fail, because since the person did not, win in that particular thing, definitely the advice he or she will be giving you is an advice that will lead you to the failure which he or she accomplished. So he said, but both men believed strongly in education, but did not recommend the same course of study. He said both men, both the rich dad and the poor dad, they believe strongly in education, but did not recommend the same course of study. He said both the rich dad and the poor dad, they believe in learning, they believe in education, but they did not recommend the same course of study. Do you get that point? So he said, if I had had only one dad, I would have had to accept or reject his advice. He was saying, assuming he had just one dad, he would have had to accept or reject his advice. He said, having two dads advising me offered me the choice of contrasting points of view. He said, having two dads advising him offered him the choice of contrasting point of view, one of a rich man and one of a poor man. He said, having two dads give him the chance, offered him the choice of contrasting points of view, one of a rich man and one of a poor man. That means this is where I'll actually be stopping. So let me emphasize on this particular paragraph, this last part. So he said, once again, he said, having two dads, which is having that rich dad and the poor dad, advising me, offered me the choice of contrasting points of view, one of rich man and one of a poor man. So having these two people, which is the rich dad and the poor dad, offer him advice, give him the choice to identify how the rich dad is thinking or what he was doing, and then this also give him the choice to understand what the poor dad is doing and how he's thinking, which eventually lead him to being in a poor situation, and he was able to identify and understand what the rich dad is doing in order to become rich. So I think I'll be stopping here for now. It's just a 10 minutes and I have other things to do. But I hope you find this very, very inspiring. But no, you can't find it inspiring yet because we have not started yet. We're just starting this. We're starting this, and believe me, over time you'll find it interesting. So by 12 p.m. again, we'll be going live to learn one or two things again from each other. And until then, do have a very, very wonderful day.